Please. Yeah, self-respect. No, we've all had pressure as comics.
Oh, God, I hate when you go back to serious.
I know. You're right, because they have listeners. Can you tell me what happened with Doug? What's it like? I only heard parts of this. Well, you just didn't get along with him in the studio, or he just...
No, can I explain? Can I say something? They were going on the Bonfire with Jay and Danny.
Okay.
Who we both love.
We call him Dan. No one calls him Danny.
I call him Danny.
Okay.
Little Danny boy.
All right.
We both love. And, and Doug is Doug. He drinks, he parties, he gets fucked up. He told Jay, I'm coming in fucking hot. So I'm just letting you know. I think what Jay said is he's cruise ship drunk, which is fucking drunk. Yeah. That's what he does. And Yam came in, and she's not, and she's straight up. And someone said something. Of course, that shit happens. And you either sit there and just let it go down, or you speak your mind. And she spoke her mind. He spoke his mind, and they went at it, and nobody gave an inch. And then he was like, you know what? I'm out. And I can understand that, because if I'm fighting with Yams, if I did something, but the thing is, he didn't understand it. He woke up the next day like, what happened? That's how fucked up he was. I know Doug. I've met him a couple times. Nothing but a fucking sweet guy.
Yes.
And I love Yams.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't. Look, man, you gotta say you can't put two people who are that strong-headed in a room, and one's kind of off his fucking mind, and one's straight up. It's like, you can't fuck with her for trying to have self-esteem and trying not to be picked on and trying not to be stepped on or be that person. Because if you are, then you are the next time and the next time.
Always.
Yeah, and it's like, I understood both. I listened to it. I understood both things there, and then once you're on tilt,
yeah,
that's why I say, like, even on this show, I don't want fuck. I don't want to fuck. I want to have fun, because the only time. Are you sleeping?
Oh,
Rich, come on.
I'm trying.
Come on.
You know that, man. Look, there's one thing about fucking with each other, having fun,
yeah.
But there's one thing when you come in and you're on tilt, and if you're not having fun, you can't be funny. I don't give a fuck who you are. You just can't be funny.
Yeah, well, you're sitting there with resentment and anger. It's hard to.
You can't be funny. You can't convert.
Listen,
that.
I've known Doug for. Yes, he's a partier. I'm different because we know each other.
Yeah.
But I never would think he would have a mean bone in his body. I would think, this is just my opinion, because I wasn't there.
I disagree with that.
I would think he was just trying to be funny, if anything, and maybe, you know how some comics just think I'm.
Yeah, but imagine, funny. I can understand going to a room with with
I was
in a room going into guys, and they're all talking shit and stuff and fucking blah, and then here she is going in, and she's probably on her tippy toes to begin with, like, I don't want to get fucked with, and you go in, and whatever the fuck happens, you're like, fuck that,
right?
Yes.
And then he's like, fuck what? He has his own pride and ego, whatever it is. And then you got little wormy Dan who don't say shit. And no, I'm kidding. You got
Danny.
Well,
that's what I call him, Danny.
But you know what? For my, and this is really exclusive, because I haven't even talked about it on my own podcast.
Right.
And I deliberately did not get my fans involved, because I thought that it would be exasperated more than it was.
Right.
At the end of the day, we had a disagreement, and it didn't have to involve the amount of nigger, fat nigger, gorilla nigger bitch that I've been getting from his fans. So when he says, I'm not a racist, and I don't know whether he is or not, to say that, the people that follow him, the first thing out of their mouth was nigger, gorilla, nigger, uppity nigger bitch. Now, when I
is that all in one tweet?
This is all in, like, this.
I didn't think it went through.
But you know, listen, at the end of the day, you guys, there's a legacy of me being a fantastic sport and dealing with ribbing. That's not even an issue. When I came in, and for my part, I said, because people are like, well, she knew this was happening. I initially did not want to go on because I just felt like sometimes whether he has an ego or not, I don't know him like that, but sometimes when you're on with someone who is an icon to people and they have this sort of legacy about them, they just waddle through whatever they're doing. And I'm like, let him do whatever he wants to do. I was already booked in the show, but I could come on another time. I think that they thought it would be a great dynamic for who I am and for who he is to meet. Unfortunately, I didn't meet him when he was sober. And the second part of it is a lot of people are going right into the part where we got into the altercation. This was a buildup for me. From the second I came in, there were just things that it was like, at some point.
What was the first thing that was said? The first
thing I come in, he says, the blacks, right? And I don't know him to know whether he's playing or whatever that is.
Right.
Then he asked me if I was a man because black women have fooled him because they've been men. And that's the other question. Like, why are you around all these black women that are men? Stop going to these like tranny parks in Atlanta. And I'm sorry for saying tranny because I know people are gonna be like, it's trans person.
Sometimes we get tricked though.
Sure, but what I'm saying is it doesn't have to
never
be
get tricked.
This amount of me
Rachel.
sitting there. Not only that, it's not gonna be a fair fight because he's wasted, right? So I can't even go toe to toe with somebody who's on the same mental wave as me. And I just got to a point where sometimes when we get flustered and we get frustrated, we start to say things that doesn't clearly define what we're going through. And it wasn't so much that I took offense. It was just like, listen, I done been the butt of at least 3 jokes and I'm trying to play it cool. So if this is what this is about, comic to comic, he didn't want to say my name. I don't know if he could remember. He was too drunk, whatever it was. There's so many levels of disrespect that we've had at this point. I came in, I didn't know who I've heard his name, but I haven't watched his act. I watched his act. I was ready to talk to him on like what it was like to be an underground comic, because sometimes I feel like I'm real underground and people really don't get me on the mainstream like that. So I wanted to have a whole conversation. It was like, we're not going to do that. And then at the same time, you're going to double down on a point that he asked me if I knew of any man that had fucked me, if they regretted it. And I said no, because I don't know of any man who had fucked me and regretted it. Then I got to be all these fat bitch. Of course, every guy regrets. Let me tell you something.
No, can I say something about that really quick? When I heard that, I understood what he was saying. He was saying that everybody has fucked somebody who regretted fucking them. Now,
not because maybe not.
But what you're saying, but listen, what you're saying is I don't know that person. Yes, there might be,
right?
But I never met a guy who let me know that he regretted it. So but you understand how those worlds, you're not being a phony.
Right.
He's not. He's going, fuck that.
We just hit an apex together.
We're all fucked up.
Right.
We all have.
It took a little too long.
Yeah.
What happened is I'm also looking at him in the studio and he hit that "you're not aware" and did the jingle jangle. So in my mind, it was like, first of all, I'm not the right person to ask that. We've already established I haven't had sex until I was 27 years old. I have had
so
7 partners in my life.
So hot.
All of the men that I have had sex with have been repeat customers. So when I asked, it wasn't me being some I think I'm the finest bitch in the world. I'm sure there's men that probably don't want to fuck me. But the men that I have fucked, they have come back repeatedly. So no, this doesn't apply. And also what I felt was there was a greater point, which I actually stopped and thought when he asked me that. I went and thought and I was like, no. It was like sometimes when somebody's trying to make a point, but they want to double down on you and also get a zinger in. So I was like in no mood to get a double down zinger.
That's his nickname, Double Down Zinger.
Don't double down. And that's what it is. And listen, we're going to go on and we're going to continue our lives. Right. He's doing fine. I'm doing fine. Somebody asked me if I would ever do a podcast with him again. I don't see why not. I mean, it would have to be when he's sober. I don't want to be bothered with that dude when he's drunk. And I don't want to be, it's not about, listen, when people say it's a tough time in comedy right now because we deal with a lot of people who are sensitive. I do have a tendency to be the kind of comic that I may look like what dimples and all that, but the shit I'm talking about is hard. So I offend people all the time. Well, it's not about not offending. Yeah. It's about, can we just come and have a moment where I don't have to be every punchline for you?
Yeah, but you came in on his world, Jay is part of his world. Dan is part. They know him, and then there's you, Dan, and Jay over here. It's two worlds that collided.
Sure.
And when you add alcohol into that,
yeah.
Mike, don't ever talk.
Mike,
Mike, I'm kidding, buddy. I'm kidding.
I love you, Mike.
I was joking. It's just those two worlds collided. Like if I was invited to be on that show, and Dan and Doug was there. I mean, look, Doug is Doug. He's a huge factor in the game. He's got a huge fan base.
Sure.
He's just on Stern. He's got a book coming out. I mean, he's very popular. And he did it. He did it in a very weird. But he did it in a very weird.
I got my shit going on too.
I know. I know. I'm saying you don't. I'm just saying that he did it. He did it.
Wanted Bobby to yell at me.
He did it in his weird way.
I know you.
No, I'm just trying to talk. And well. Now, are you gonna try to? This is a weird thing. Are you gonna try to get in touch with Doug and just, hey, dude, look, what happened. Who gives a fuck? And just get it out, or do you not give a fuck about that? Has he tried to get in touch with you?
No,
really.
I mean, he hasn't. Why would he? Here's the thing. We had a disagreement. It's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world as some people are making it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. He's not everybody's cup of tea. And if I had an opportunity to do a podcast with him again when he was sober, I would love to do a podcast with him again if he was sober, a radio show, whatever it is. But it's
hard for us because we, like me, Dan, Jay, people like we like both parties, so it's like fuck, you guys should be friends. You know what I mean? You guys.
Sure. I mean, in a great world, we would. Yeah. My issue is not even with. I dealt with him in the moment, and that's what it was. And I'm not going to apologize for my feelings as I went along. Yeah. People interpret and do whatever they want. It's fine to me. The only thing for me is the amount of. I'm a nigger, gorilla nigger, silverback nigger. Is like for this disagreement, you think that's the response you need to have? I'm a uppity nigger bitch. Who the fuck is she? Like, I wasn't disrespecting him as a legend. To them, I was telling him enough is enough.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why as a comic you wouldn't go. You know what, man? If I saw that. If me and you had a fight and my fans were like, uppity fucking nigger, black, gorilla, I'd be like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, and you know what? I don't care what she said or what our fight is. Even if I didn't like you, I'd be like, you don't represent me with that shit.
You know what it is? But I understand. He posted something about he put a post up like from an excerpt from his book, like when you're drunk or something like that, it's hard to have a conversation. I think that was what he wanted to put up in response to that. Listen, the man doesn't know me from Adam. And the second thing is, once you start to deal with these trolls and the people that support you, if he had done something like that, they would have turned on him like a vicious wit. Like, I understand you don't even want to incite this type of nonsense. Like, I'm getting the things that I'm getting. People are like, "Are you okay?" I'm getting threats and all this other stuff.
What do you mean threats?
I'm getting threats.
Like, what's
Bobby.
a threat?
Like, don't come to my town. We got you clocked. We're coming for you.
What, Kentucky?
I don't know where these people. What I'm saying
I'm open if you cancel something.
Oh, Jesus.
I probably cancel. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna stop being Yamaneika and doing what Yamaneika does and defending herself. That at the end of the day, nobody's gonna bully me out of that. Is it annoying that the backlash is all of this bullshit that came from this? I don't look at him and go, ugh, this guy, whatever, that has like 20 followers who follows him is like an asshole, and this guy's an asshole. It's just like, at the end of the day, why the fuck is it this amount of bullshit from
that's
two
not,
people having a
that's
disagreement?
That's not Doug. That's not Doug. That's actually Doug.
Life.
Are you listening to that I'm fucking talking?
Oh, well, I haven't talked at all. Sorry.
Yeah, you have.
I'm sorry.
Fuck, man.
I love this.
Put your headphones on.
I heard you.
My headphones went out. That's the only reason why I don't have my headphones
Listen to me. What I'm saying is that I don't think it's not Doug's. These people that follow you, you can't control.
Sure.
You don't know who they are. The fact that Twitter lets these people exist over and over and over again, because I guarantee most of the people that said whatever the fuck, I'll kill you or blah blah. If you found them, if we went and got them, and you said, "Do you really want to kill me? Do you really think I'm a gorilla?" They'd be like, "No, I fucked up. I didn't mean that. I was just saying that shit because I was online and it was safe, or I was drunk and I love Doug and I was just trying to be mean and hurt your feelings." I guarantee most of them aren't like that, but Twitter's responsibility in this, it's enough. It's a fucking enough. Allowing freedom of speech is one thing. Right. These fucking cocksuckers are anonymous douchebags that need to be handled, because you shouldn't. You're right. If you're going to say something to you, you should be held accountable for what you say. Sure. Saying that you're an asshole, sensitive shithead that, the Doug was just trying to blah blah blah, whatever. And being an adult about it, even if they didn't like you or agreed with Doug and thought, you know what, fuck you, I love Doug, fuck off. Okay, that's one thing. But saying this other shit and threatening people is crazy. And that's not Doug's responsibility. I don't think it's his responsibility. That's Twitter's responsibility.
Sure.
You think Twitter can police the whole fucking thing?
They can't. And they can't, and they won't. Listen,
I get that shit all the time.
I am outspoken, and I'm a woman, and I'm a person of color. So this is not new to me.
And obvious.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It's not new to me where there may be guys that go, "Who the fuck is this bitch running her mouth?" Or a white dude is like, "Who the fuck is this nigga thinking that she can?" I get.
Why'd you make the guy black?
Because I'm gonna get a different thing from a black guy. Like the black guy is probably gonna have a conversation with me and be like, "Yo, let me pull you aside, sis. What's up?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand it. Yeah. What is disheartening is I can't just have a thing where we had a disagreement and it lays there. It has to be 17 different Reddit pages. It's got to be people like, "Oh my God, did you see this thing?" Tweeting gorillas with microphones at clubs I'm working. Like, at the end of this is how crazy it gets. And when it gets crazy like this,
I get whales.
We go.
I get whales with microphones.
At what point is it? We had a guy that, and Rich knows, but we had a guy, I'm not going to bring everybody else, I'm going to bring myself into it, who made a comment about women judging roast battle at the stand, right?
That's stupid.
And it was the dumbest thing ever. And one of the things that he didn't realize, a lot of people, when they comment like, "Yamaneika never saying anything funny at the stand." When I'm judging, and Rich knows this from being, I'm taking full on notes because I've been somebody that's battled. I've proved myself as a battler. I was on Comedy Central's roast battle. When I go to give notes to these kids, I want to give them notes to make them better. If I say something funny along the way, fine. But I got Rich there, Jay's there. I got a bunch of funny motherfuckers around me. Why can't I be the one going, "Hey, tighten this up. Don't do this." Like when people go, "Oh, she's the worst part of it." I take comedy seriously. Whether you like it or not, I've been doing comedy for 18 years. Whether you like it or not, I take comedy seriously. I may not be your cup of tea when it comes to comedy, but that doesn't mean I'm not a comic.
You've been doing it 18 years?
I have been doing it 18 years.
Good for you.
Almost as long as I've had my period. But, which may be starting very soon because I'm so agitated. But
it's going to end soon, too, because you're in your 40s.